Dan Kromarski, and I'm your lead instructor and facilitator for transitioning your ADHD child to middle school. Today, I'd like to talk about your relationship as a parent with your child's teachers and administrators. This is the most important adult relationship that you'll have during the middle school years. It's the difference between getting that IEP or accommodation for your child and getting stonewalled by the school. The right approach is incredibly important. So, let's start at the top. Obviously, you go to parent night, you meet your child's teacher or advisor, you shake their hand, you smile at them, you try to find something in their presentation to compliment, and you make a good impression. That's the first thing. At parent night or in an email, you'll probably be told that that homeroom teacher or advisor is meant to be your point person for dealing with your child for the rest of the year, and that's a very big deal. You have to go to that person first. I know what you're saying, I know what you're thinking. What if that homeroom teacher or advisor is part of the problem? What if she's the teacher who's not giving your kid the service that they deserve? You should still go to that person first, because that person is potentially your ally in the school when you look for something for your child. That person is going to be behind closed doors with the administration saying your child should get this accommodation or shouldn't. So you have to make nice to her, all right, or him. And teachers and administrators are fragile beings, and teachers hate it when someone disobeys the chain of command or a parent seems to not respect the chain of command and go over their head and talk directly to the supervisor or the principal. So instead you say, "Oh, Mrs. A, I know you're the expert in how the school works, and I know you're the expert who sees my child every day, so could you and I work together to design an approach to the principal?" And that's going to get Mrs. A right on your side. You're treating her as a professional, an expert, showing a little vulnerability, saying you're not really you don't have the expertise that she has. And that teacher's going to respond beautifully to you. She's going to say, "Oh yeah, we can work together and we can design an approach to the principal for this." You respected the chain of command, you see. And so you'll probably get kicked up the chain a little bit, and eventually you'll find yourself talking to that principal or that counselor or that service provider who's actually going to be the decision maker in getting your child the accommodation or the IEP or the 504 or whatever. So I'm going to show you a blueprint. I'm going to show you an analogy and a blueprint of exactly how that conversation can go. But before I do that, I want to talk about what sorts of things won't work at all right? Now, you may see public school teachers and even private school teachers as very entrenched and entitled, but they're actually, as I said before, very fragile. They have stressful jobs, they don't want to lose those jobs, and they know that they trained hard for those jobs, so they resent any parent who comes in and says that they could teach history or English or math. Don't say you could do the teacher's job. The teacher doesn't make a lot of money. They make about as much as a doorman or a custodian. But the teacher is a member of the professional class that includes doctors and lawyers. They have a lot of respect for their prestige, even though they're not incredibly wealthy. So talking about your money, how much money you pay to send your kid to private school, how high your property taxes are, things like that, it's a very bad idea. It makes the teacher feel threatened, right? And you should definitely not talk about the fact that you're on the local school board or anything like that. That'll put you into an antagonistic relationship with the teacher in the school, and that will be bad for your child. Instead, you want to develop a relationship that I like to call the partnership of experts. A partnership of experts. And here's the analogy that I use in my own work, and you can feel free to use this analogy too. Let's say you have an uncomfortable feeling in your chest in the morning, and when you wake up, every week you have this feeling. So you go to a famous cardiologist, a guy who charges a fortune or a woman who charges a fortune for their service. And you describe to that cardiologist your pain and the ache that you feel, and you describe your entire family history, and the cardiologist listens to you, and she eventually says, "Okay, I'm going to offer an opinion." Now, you are the only expert in that room on your own heart. On your own heart, your pain, your family history, you know much more than the cardiologist. She better listen to you. If she or he doesn't listen to you, you need to find another doctor. But if that cardiologist does listen to you and offers some advice, let's say they say it's not serious, you should believe that advice and you should feel relieved, because although you know more about your heart than the cardiologist does, the cardiologist knows more about the heart, the human heart and how it works, than you do. So why do I tell this story during parent-teacher conferences? Because you, the parent, are the expert on your own child. The only person who knows your child better than you do is your child, him or herself. And you and your child are the experts on your child. So the teacher or the administrator is like the famous cardiologist, the famous heart surgeon. She has to listen to you, or he has to listen to you. All right? If he or she isn't listening to you, you need to say, I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying. But if that teacher or administrator does listen to you and then offers an opinion about your 10 or 11-year-old, you have to realize that although you've been working with your 10-year-old for a decade, and you know more about that 10-year-old than the teacher does, the teacher is a professional trained to work with 10-year-olds who has seen hundreds of 10-year-olds and who has a very different and also expert perspective. As for your child's tester or psychiatrist, that person is sort of like a radiologist in the cardiology example. She's providing data, and the teacher should look at that data too and take it into account. Now, when you use this analogy, when you talk about the teacher as a professional, an expert who's getting into partnership with you, another expert on a different area, you've done a lot of things right in terms of your relationship with the school. First of all, you are treating the teacher as an expert whose advice is worth a fortune, and the teacher's going to like that a lot. Secondly, you're assuming that the teacher and the administrators care tremendously about your kid. They're not faceless bureaucrats. They're caring professionals. They'll appreciate that too. And you're showing that you are vulnerable and needy, as well as your child, that you need them. That vulnerability builds mutual trust. If your child happens to be present at some of these conferences, you're modeling politeness and sincerity and respect, which are good lessons for your kid. Now, this partnership of experts model, it doesn't always result in you getting exactly what you want from the school, but it's always the right way to start. Remember that behind closed doors, the teacher and the administrator will sit down and they'll say to themselves, oh, I remember that parent. She came in and he came in and they were so respectful of the school and so respectful of you, Mrs. A, and me, the principal. We should put them first in line for that accommodation or that IEP. Now, this approach won't always work. Some teachers are just uncaring for reasons that we don't understand. Some school administrators are unavailable. But it will work most of the time. And this partnership of experts approach that I've described will see you through most of your conferences during the middle school years. Thanks for listening. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you want more information on ADHD, we've created a site that includes our expert-curated list of clear, authoritative resources. These free resources will help you find answers to your basic questions about ADHD, understand why middle school is so challenging for ADHD students, and introduce you to ADHD support groups and other sites to help you meet your child's needs at school and at home. Visit the link in the description below and on your screen. You can also join our own ADHD education and support group for parents, where you can get direct help from other parents with shared experiences. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel to get updated when we make new videos. Thanks again for watching, and until next time.